you're a hypochondriac like I am, you may have heard of Havana syndrome, which is this weird mystery illness that's affecting US personnel in embassies all over the world. And although it sounds like something from a James Bond movie, it's actually quite scary. It's not a cocktail either. If you thought it was a cocktail, it's not a cocktail. The weird condition first got its name in 2016 when US personnel in the embassy in Cuba started experiencing weird, worrying symptoms. Headaches, memory issues, grogginess, hearing noises, anxiety, depression. I definitely don't want to get it. We're now in 2022 and over 200 cases have been reported worldwide, occurring in countries you may not expect. You might expect Cuba, potentially. You wouldn't necessarily expect Germany, though, or the UK, or the US. To have specific cases like that develop in those countries is quite surprising. But, although it's a mystery illness, we do sort of have a theory for the cause. In the 1940s and 50s, this same condition was called the Moscow syndrome, in which the USSR actively irradiated the US embassy with RF radio waves. The RF radiation is actually slowly cooking your brain. It is effectively a microwave for your brain, which obviously will explain the clear mental decline that victims from this condition are suffering. There are reports in Cuba of a staff member hearing a high-pitched noise late at night. When questioning other people within the building, no one heard this noise, which suggests that this noise is being generated in your head. But we don't really know who the culprit is. But we do know that it is probably related to this Moscow syndrome. And if the Soviets were testing it, they probably still have it in a drawer somewhere. Western relations with Russia obviously declined massively in 2014, so it is interesting that a couple of years after Crimea, US staff and personnel start falling very sick. If this is Russia, which it almost definitely is, I mean, they did send a murder squad to the UK with poison in a perfume bottle, so I probably do think they are doing it, but it could be China, it could be anyone really, which is what makes this issue so scary actually. It's invisible, it's very hard to detect. With reports of this condition developing and occurring more and more, the US State Department made it a priority to get to the bottom of the cause of this condition. Then, in January 2022, the FBI came out and said that this condition doesn't exist, and it's just work-related stress. I've never had work-related stress to the point where I'm hearing piercing noises and can't sleep or think. A few months after this report, the US state flip-flopped again and said that this is a condition caused by a definite weapon. It's hard to know what the US is playing at with this. It's believable that the US State Department made this statement for other political reasons. But what do you think? Is it just work-related stress? Is it people overthinking? Is it overdiagnosis? Do I have Havana syndrome when I'm a little bit tired? Or is it actually a weapon being pointed at people's hotel rooms and absolutely microwave blasting them to kingdom come? Turning your brain into a rustler's. Have I missed a key story? Is there something else that explains what Havana syndrome is? Is it just a nanny state world wanting to diagnose everything like tiredness or a achy knee? And subscribe to TLS World for a sideways look at the world's news.